Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside my newest rental property purchase. Sorry, it's kind of noisy. We're in downtown Brush, Colorado, so it's a busy location. This property is the cheapest property I've ever bought in my life, so you'll see why soon. But we're going to show you the outside real quick to prepare you for the inside. This is about 3,100 square feet on the main floor, and then it has a basement as well. So we will show you the basement too. And then the building next door, we also bought as well. So that's a separate purchase, and we'll talk about that in another video. But that's 18,000 square feet next door. And this, as I said, is about 3,000 square feet. And as you can see, it has some issues, some problems that we need to deal with. But as I said, it was the cheapest property I've ever bought in my life. We paid $23,500 for this property. And along with buying it, we used an opportunity zone to purchase it. So I will talk about opportunity zones a little bit, and we purchased one next door with an opportunity zone as well. So that's kind of exciting news. And they just redid the streets here. Brand new streets, brand new sewers. When I first looked at these properties, this road was totally closed. It was dirt, which is one of the reasons why it was so cheap. All right, here's the inside. And you know, it's not in the worst shape in the world, but it obviously needs some work for $23,000. I don't know how long it's been vacant. This town is about an hour away from me, so I've never bought anything in this town either. So it is a new experience in that way as well. If this property was in Greeley, where I normally buy stuff, it would be, you know, $200,000, $150,000, probably even in this condition. But some of the biggest issues, as you can see, are structural. So these bricks are kind of falling apart. So we do have to figure out a way to stabilize the bricks, build support walls next to them. We'll see. But being the way I do things, I didn't really check that out or research that before I bought the property. It was so cheap that I figured we could figure that out later. And even in the worst case scenario, it's not that big of an investment if it doesn't work out very well. As you can see, that's a ton of space. It also has a basement. And as mentioned, I bought an opportunity zone, which is a tax savings strategy. So basically, there are certain opportunity zones across the country. Not everywhere is an opportunity zone. They're usually in areas that are they're trying to have more investment into, so they might not be the highest priced areas. And basically how they work is you start a fund, you can use capital gains from other properties or even investments to invest into the fund. You don't pay capital gains taxes right away on those properties that you sold. And I did sell a rental property number 16 earlier this year. And I wasn't even planning to do an opportunity zone. You can see some of the issues we have there. For some reason, this carpet's wet. I just don't know how that could have happened. But maybe it's because there's daylight coming in, maybe not. Or it could be the roof. But anyway, with the opportunity zone and wonderful bathroom, you can use the gains from another property, which I did, to buy a property in the fund. And you don't have to do a 1031 exchange. There aren't as many rules. It isn't as crazy as doing a 1031 exchange. So I wasn't even planning to use that property for a fund or do a 1031 exchange, but then I found this property and I decided, hey, let's use the money to do an opportunity zone, because Brush, Colorado is pretty much all in an opportunity zone. I'm putting on my mask right now. I actually found some N95 masks in the back of my car, ironically, that I've had for at least a year back there. I can't remember where I got them or who gave them to me, but you'll see why I want my mask here soon. Ooh, it's even stinky with my mask on. I'm going to close up that little area. There we go. So I'll try and talk loud so you can still hear me through the mask. So as you can see, the basement almost a full basement. The lights work, it has power. But with the opportunity zone, you can defer those taxes, I think it's 5 or 6 years. You don't have to pay the capital gains taxes. But after the 5 or 6 year or 7 years, you have to start paying those taxes back, but it's at a decreased rate. I think it's, you decrease 10% of the tax bill after 5 years, or decrease 15% after 6 or 7 years, something like that. I'd have to look into the exact rules. But that's not the big advantage, right? It's nice to defer those taxes to, there we go. That needed to come down. To defer those taxes, you can see a preview of some of the issues down here. But the big advantage is if you buy a property in the opportunity zone and you fix it up using as much money as you spent on it. So for this property, you'd have to spend the amount of the structure. So let's say we say the land is worth $3,000 and the structure is worth $20,000. If within a certain amount of time, and it can get confusing, the amount of time depending on if you have different entities and different things, but if we spend another $20,000 fixing it up, and we hold this property for 10 years, all of the capital gains on this property become tax-free. So let's say I bought this for $23,000, I'm going to spend more than $20,000. Say we spend $50,000 on this rehab, have it rented for 10 years, all of a sudden in 10 years it's worth $300,000, we're just being very positive. I can sell that property after 10 years. That entire gain is tax-free. You don't pay any taxes on it. You don't have to do a 1031 exchange. You don't have to do another opportunity fund. So, and that's what I was saying. This is why I have my mask on, because that is black mold. Very stinky, pretty dangerous stuff, especially if you're allergic to it. So obviously we have to have some remediation done down here for the mold. That's the big thing. Get the roof checked out, fix the structural stuff. And once you do all that easy stuff, this is a great building. So we'll see, we'll get our guys out here to look at it, check it out, and see what they think of the property, what we can do, and how much that will all cost. We can go from there. And so we have it bought in an opportunity fund. I also have talked to the city, and they're actually coming out here to meet me right after I shoot this video to look at the properties, because they're offering some incentives. They want to talk to me about getting the properties fixed up, because we're directly downtown and some other properties have been fixed up, some haven't. So they're really motivated to have these properties fixed up and looking better too. So it won't just be me kind of working on the properties, but the city helping me out as well with possible tax incentives and maybe even grants, some different things. And they're going to check out the building next door for that situation. All right, so that's the property for now. We'll have our guys take a look at it, figure out a plan. We'll have more videos, more updates on this property and the property next door, as well as we figure out what to do with it after we talk to the city and go from there. So we don't come out this way a lot. As I said, it's about an hour away, but we'll be out here once in a while. And if we can get it somewhat fixed up and a tenant in here, we literally could have a property worth 10 times what we paid for it. So we'll see how that goes. Make sure you check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, wholesaling, all that good stuff, and our 9 books on Amazon as well. Appreciate all the likes, the comments, all that good stuff, so keep them coming.